What's up, YouTube? Stella again, back with another video, and this is I guess not as a fun one, but still, like I think, kind of part of the point of this channel. Being a trans person in a situation where you're not really able to be out, but also like all the things that kind of help you affirm your gender kind of aren't there anymore, or aren't accessible. Also, like it leaves you in a position where you're just kind of stuck, right? And I think for a lot of trans people, they're in that position where they're just stuck. So every day, living every day and moving around every day and doing everyday function things becomes extremely hard. And I'm just at my wit's end at this point. You know, I've been dealing with trans like my inner transness for a few years now, right? Like probably since 2016, 2017. That when the first egg cracked, uh, and it's been like what four or 5 years that I've been kind of wanting to medically transition and do some or even do something, right? Like wanting laser hair removal, wanting facial feminization surgery, wanting hormones, the very things that are the very basic. And I was able to experiment with clothes and makeup, and that's helped me for a while, right? That's actually done quite a bit good for uh, a year or two. But I figured out about myself is that at the end of the day, the clothes and the makeup and the accessories, these help enhance certain things about me that I can bring me more aligned with my gender, but they can only enhance what's already there. And for me at least, what's already there isn't that much. And that's why, you know, my push my main goal right now has been getting those three things, specifically hormones, laser hair removal, and facial feminization surgery. But obviously, those things aren't easy to come by. Those things you just don't have, and especially in America, it's very region specific on how you're able to get them. And being in this sort of wait in limbo, and with the pandemic making things extremely harder. Like for example, now, uh, because of the pandemic, I can't get laser hair removal. I mean, like I could risk doing that, but like it's too risky. It's like until like things really are back to baseline, if we ever get there. And given how things are going, I don't trust that. I don't trust us getting back to baseline anytime soon, unfortunately. And because of that, it's like, okay, well, I have to wait from that, and then there comes the idea of hormones, right? The kind of first step, and I've gotten to the point where I have a appointment with the endocrinologist in a few months, and like it was a real grind and real hard to get to that point, but that these, like, even though like if it may not be as long, right? I've waited a few years. 2 months shouldn't be an issue, but it's less about the fact that it's a long time and more of the fact that like the idea of like waiting in patience kind of relies on this idea that like every day you wait, right? Every day you do stuff, you wait, you have a certain amount of patience, right? Or you have a certain level of how long you can hold off. And when you go to sleep and you wake up, that bar is kind of reset, and you just have to do that every day until it happens, right? I think that's the main way in which a lot of the understanding of how patience functions. But in this situation, it's less of a day by day and more like there's like a limit, right? Like you have so much in your body that you can use to wait, to hold off, to delay. And every day that goes by is one where in which it becomes harder and harder to do because you have less and less. And it's almost like even like the same amount of waiting isn't the same, right? And this is weird, but let me explain to it. When you first start off in any sort of anything that requires patience, right? Like in the beginning, it's maybe hard because you have a different expectation of how fast things are. So you can kind of like burn yourself out almost by not having a true understanding and grasp of things, like of the scope. And then over time you get used to it, you be able to wait, you're able to have more patience, and you kind of it becomes easy, it becomes a day by day thing. But to me, when you get the closer you become towards the end, or at least the longer it goes on, the less your actual patience the patience that you have counts for something. And it sounds like I'm really borderly trying to say is that like the longer you wait, the harder it is to wait. It no longer is about enduring in this situation. It's about like making it. And I've been waiting for me quite a while. Obviously there's the FFS, which is just that's a money thing. That's a matter of how much money you have. And obviously, finding the right surgeons and everything. And there's also like another minor thing with me where it's a lot of the in which we talk about transness is still very white centered, and a lot of things when it comes to alignment of gender is also very white centered. And in my like caution, what I caution about when it comes to facial feminization surgery is that like in hopes of getting more aligned with my gender, that like they take away things that are seen as masculine but are really just African features, and I don't want to get rid of any of my African features. That's me personally. So finding that may be a bit difficult, but beyond that, really the issue is money, and I don't have a lot of money to be doing that. So like that's kind of just out of the question for a long time, unfortunately, like it is for most trans people. So I'm stuck here where I am now, and I've been, I talk with friends. I try to do other things internally with my mind in order to like get to the point where I'm like okay with myself. But I've figured out that I feel like I've made the max progress I can make. Right, I've done everything I could to the limit, and the only thing that's stopping is the physical aspects that my dysphoria causes me. Right, the physical discomfort. Not just there's the social discomfort, and maybe things will be different if I was in an accepted society, and that's fine. But I can't control that, and I'm not really gonna pretend like to that I will be able to. So for me right now, it's just the physical stuff, and because that's all gate kept, either through capitalism or through the medical industrial complex and other like systems, I'm just stuck. Maybe I won't be stuck for long. Maybe in the horizon things will get better. I do hope that. I do hope and try to keep that in perspective. That kind of what keeps me going. But it's still hard. Like I think we don't talk enough about like just how hard the waiting is, and I think a lot of reason why we don't talk about it is because like there is no solution for that, at least personally, right? Like in your personal life, like the there's no solution for it. It sucks that you have to wait. You just deal with it, and for some people that's not a possibility. Um, and in that like that idea that it's hard and there's no way for it to get around it. I don't know, at least for me, I've been trying to work with how to become more specifically how to instead of just focusing on those aspects, try to focus on okay, well, when will I be okay with my gender? Like when will I be able to see myself and be like internally confident, right? Internally together. And I've been and it's been hard to think about because I look at other trans people and I start to say, okay, well, what gives them when they have the confidence when they speak about it? What gives it to them? And at least at my stage, I have rarely ever seen a trans person, at least in my position, that has the confidence in their transness that I can kind of like look into and be good with, right? Like, you know. So yeah, this is it. I'm stuck and it sucks, but hopefully it gets better. So hope you all have a good day.